Hey everyone, Sean here, and today I'm gonna do a movie review on a movie that I said I was gonna do a few weeks ago, The Avengers. Now I know this movie's probably a long time coming, and you're probably wondering why didn't I review it with my Iron Man movies? And that's because it's not just an Iron Man movie; it's a crossover. It's a crossover movie. This was released 2012. It was the sixth release in the Marvel Cinematic Universe after Captain America: The First Avenger. Um, and before Iron Man 3. Um, in this film, basically what happens is um, Loki shows up on Earth, and so Nick Fury has to bring together Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and Incredible Hulk together to basically take him out, along with Black Widow and Hawkeye. Um, in this movie, the actors are the ones reprising their roles are Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Thor, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, um, Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner, um, Sam Jackson, Stellan Skarsgård, Clark Gregg, Tom Hiddleston, and then Gwyneth Paltrow's in this movie too. Um, Edward Norton did not reprise his role for this movie, basically because him and Marvel Studios did not have any, I guess, agreements or something. Apparently, Marvel Studios didn't think that Edward Norton had the quality that they wanted for the Hulk, so they just booted him off the Avengers and any possible sequels to Incredible Hulk, which I'm sure a lot of fans were pretty much disappointed with that decision. But in Norton's stead is Mark Ruffalo, which is one of his friends, which I thought was kind of a nice choice. That they got one of Norton's friends, and actually, Edward Norton actually approved his replacement, which I thought was a nice touch. That they got someone that Norton actually approved of. So this movie is basically a crossover film with the title characters of the previous films all facing off against Loki and the Chitauri. Because basically Loki wants to dominate the Earth. Because he lost Asgard, so he figured go after the Earth. Natalie Portman is not in this movie. However, she does make somewhat of a cameo in the form of a photograph. Coulson does explain why um, Jane Foster's not in the movie, because when Selvig is taken by Loki, they arranged for Jane to be moved to Trump Tower for her safety because Coulson knew that Thor would not want her put in danger, so they moved her to Trump Tower and had her work there. Which I thought was kind of a nice touch for to explain why she wasn't in the movie. But then I was wondering why Rhodey wasn't in it, and we don't get the explanation for that until Iron Man 3, because certain things are superhero stuff and certain things are government stuff. But that was pretty much a weak explanation in my opinion, but it was cool. Iron Man 3 was a cool movie anyway. Um, this movie is about, where is it? 2 hours and 23 minutes about. The last 30-40 minutes of it is basically the fight. Is basically the battle on the grounds of Manhattan, which I thought was really cool. I actually saw this movie in the theaters. And I had a great time. Um, I really can't say much more about it, really. Other than basically Loki wants to get his hands on the Tesseract because the Chitauri made him a deal that if they helped him get the Earth, he had to give them the Tesseract in exchange. Which It is kind of a weird one, but yeah. And in this movie, Banner only changes into the Hulk maybe twice out of the whole movie, as because in the story he's at a point in time where he's able to control the Hulk by keeping his mind on other things. So it's really cool. Because when we see him, we see him like as a doctor trying to help people feel better, get better, like sick people get better, and he's basically focused all his energy on that. Sorry, I just woke up about a few minutes ago. But anyway, Banner is basically focusing all his energy on that, so he doesn't change into the Hulk. And as with at the end of Incredible Hulk, he's still on the run from presumably General Ross, who's trying to get a hold of the Hulk and basically weaponize it for the military. So Banner is still on the run, presumably trying to find a cure. Otherwise, he cannot go back to America. So I thought that was kind of cool. Tony in this movie is in a relationship with Pepper, as we saw at the end of Iron Man 2. And he's starting Stark Tower, um, which I thought was really cool to have him be doing something with his company. Um, see, Cap, he's still getting used to America. He's still getting used to modern day. The only people he knows are the Shield because he met them at the end of the other movie. So yeah, I can't really say much about this movie. I haven't seen it in a while. I haven't seen the Avengers in a long time, so I can't really say much about it. But I will say this, that out of the two comic book branches, I guess you say, between Marvel and DC, this one is by far my favorite of the Marvel films. This one here is my favorite Marvel movie. And you guys are wondering what my DC favorite is? The Dark Knight. Um, there was a worry about the fate of Robert Downey Jr., whether he would be able to reprise his role as Tony Stark after Iron Man 3. And there is a confirmation on that, and the answer is yes. Robert Downey Jr. will be returning in the next two Avengers movies. There is no word yet, however, on any more Iron Man movies. I really do hope they keep it at Iron Man 3. Like, don't make any more movies, because I think the trilogy is perfect as well. For most comic movies, you never go past the third movie. Because if you go past the third movie, you're walking a fine line. That's just my opinion. I actually don't know how long I've been doing this review so far, but I think I'll just stop it here. If you guys have seen any comic movie, make sure you watch Avengers. It is a very good film. You will not be disappointed. I wasn't. The only thing I was really thinking going in, I was thinking there's no way Mark Ruffalo will be able to pull off the Banner. And he did. I ate my words. I shoved my foot in my mouth. I kicked myself in the rear end, Every possible proven wrong cliche you could do, I did it. I put my foot in my mouth. I kicked my own ass. I ate my words. Pretty much anything you do that proved yourself wrong, I did it. Because I thought Mark Ruffalo actually did a very decent job for the role. Although I still wished Edward Norton would have reprised his role. But I didn't make the movie. I don't run the studio. Otherwise, I would have done that. But I'm very happy, though, they got majority of the actors to come back, which I thought was a nice touch. And they only recasted Banner, which I thought was a nice touch. That they only recasted one character, not the rest of it. Because if they would have recasted the whole thing, I would have had lower expectations for this movie. which I didn't have that low of expectations for, because going in, I knew it was gonna be a badass movie. You got Iron Man, you got Thor, you got Captain America, you got Hulk, you got Black Widow, you got Hawkeye. I knew this film was gonna be a badass film, but I did have some low expectations, mainly with Mark Ruffalo. I did not think he could handle the part, and I thought he did brilliant. Because what he didn't necessarily try to copy the two actors previous from him. What he tried to do more was incorporate the Bill Bixby performance from the TV show into his. So he basically did that, and plus added his own thing, which I thought was cool. I mean, I never saw the Incredible Hulk TV show, but I've seen like bits and pieces of footage from it. So yeah, I think I'll just call the review here. If you guys ever get a chance, you should watch this movie. You will not be disappointed. Bye.